What's up, YouTube? It's Danny from Team Eagerbros here, and I'm doing a archetype rant. I really do not think Ghostricks deserve any hype at all coming out. They come out in Shadow Specters, as most people know. They seem like an incredibly slow deck that people are like, oh well, if the format slows down, like anti-Dragon Ruler, anti-Spellbook, ban everything like everybody wants, which would ruin the game. But then they think that this deck will be good. And I really don't think it'll be good. I have all their effects pulled up on a laptop right here, so I'll go down to that. Basically, they all have the same effect. They have one same, uniform effect, and that is that they cannot be normal summoned or special. They cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster, but they can be normal set. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. Every single non-XYZ Ghostrick monster has that same effect, has the same line in their effect. The effects revolve around flipping the monsters face down and protecting them as long as they're face down, and basically they can just pop up and use their effects. So far, the only card that I think, there's a couple cards I think are actually good in the set, but in the archetype, but they're not as a whole good. One card that seems really good is called Ghostrick Alucard. He's the rank 3 XYZ. He's a zombie XYZ, 1800 attack, 1600 defense. He's a generic 2 level 3 monster, so it means you can do it with the tour guide plays, any rank 3 play that you can do easily. And basically your opponent cannot target other Ghostrick monsters or face out monsters for attacks. So that's good. It's good in the set with them because they can't attack your other monsters, but they have to attack him. So I mean they'll just run over him. But you can detach one material from the card and target one set card your opponent controls and destroy it. That's good because now you don't have to go Zen mains and have to suicide just to get rid of a problem card that you know is there. So like if you know that your opponent has a Mirror Force or whatever, you could go pop that, or if you know they have a problem card like a warning that they either have to waste or you pop it. When he is sent to the graveyard, you could target one Ghostrick in your graveyard and add that to your hand. Obviously that effect's not good in any deck besides Ghostricks, but it just seems like it's a decent rank 3 that would be needed. The next card I want to talk about is Ghostrick Zhangxi. It is also a zombie. It has 400 attack, 1800 defense. He's level 3. He also cannot be normal summoned. He can't be normal summoned or set, or normal summoned unless you control Ghostrick, but he can be set, and he can be flipped down once per turn. When the card is flipped face up, you get to add one Ghostrick monster from your deck to your hand whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghostrick monsters you have. So which means you already have to have at least 3 to be able. If you have 3 Ghostricks on the field, you can have any monster from your deck into your hand. Which, that card, it's not that bad, but it's really dependent on you having those monsters come out and for them to be face up when the effect resolves. Then we have Ghostrick Lantern, which is like their Battle Fader. He can't be normal summoned just like all the other ones, and once per turn you can change it down. When a monster attacks directly or targets a Ghostrick monster you control for an attack, you negate it and special summon the card from your hand. It doesn't end the battle phase. All it does is negate that one attack and summon a monster with 0 defense that they can attack over. It's not that big of a deal. Ghostrick Spectre is a level 1. It's a fiend. 600 attack, 0 defense. When a Ghostrick card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or effect, and sent to the graveyard, so defissure or macro stop his effect completely, you can special summon from your hand in defense position. If you do, you draw 1 card. It seems like this deck would work well with Final Countdown, because you can make Slacker Magicians very easily with the Lantern and the Spectre plays. And then it just seems like that would be the better way to play this deck, especially if you play Mystic Pipers too. You could throw in some Chaos versions, but I still don't think it would be fast enough to compete with most decks. Because, I mean, even if they hurt a deck a little bit, they're still probably not going to hit Consulars or Evil Swarms in any way. If they do, maybe just a little bit. But then they have the Witcher Ghostrick, which also has that same effect where they can't be normal summoned and change in defense. Once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change it to face-down defense. That's okay for dealing with some problem monsters, but this deck doesn't have any brute force. The strongest monster in the deck is Alucard, which is 1800. Then they have Yukiona of the Ghostrick. Same thing, that same generic effect, and then when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can change the monster that destroyed it to face down defense position, and that monster's battle position cannot be changed. That seems like a very good trap, but generally your opponent's going to know what you have set, since you keep flipping your monsters up and down, which gives them an idea of what you have. It doesn't leave anything hidden. So basically, if they see you set a new monster, they can know exactly what it is. And then they have Ghostricks House, which is probably the best card here, the best card of their set, and I don't even think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a common. But face down monsters cannot be targeted for attacks. If the only monsters a player controls are face down, their opponent can attack directly. And then you have half any battle damage for monsters except Ghostricks monsters, or effect damage that either player takes. I feel like this card is going to be a pretty good side card against any burn decks, if burn decks come up in the next format again. Because Chain Burn is pretty good right now, but it's hurt a lot by Eradicator. And this would make it so that they have to work twice as hard just to burn you down your 8,000 life points. And you could just side it in, and your opponent has to work incredibly hard just to do what he wants to do. So basically this deck is completely weak against cards like Light of Intervention, which makes it you can't set any cards. So, I mean, obviously nobody plays that card right now, but even if this deck does get popularity, all people have to do is play that one card, and almost all of their effects are null and void because they can't normal summon, and they can't set, and all the monsters that special summon in face down defense. So basically, if they get out Light of Intervention and you don't have an MST, heavy, whatever, and you're playing this deck, you automatically lose all power. You have a bunch of dead cards in your hand that you can't do anything with. And then, also, like, Dark Simic does the exact same thing. Like, Dark Simic isn't played much right now, but if the format needed it, it could be played fairly easily. In Black Wings, Harpy decks, you can splash it into things like that. You could even splash it into Dragon.
Blocker.
Yeah, you could put Side Blocker into a Chaos deck and make it. You could put it in Dragons by putting in Tour Guides. Like, you could put it in anything. Like,
let me think about it.
If you really needed, if you needed to put it in to stop something big in the format, you could put it in incredibly easily. And I just think that this deck, it had, like, people are hyping it up and people keep talking about it, but I think it's just a shit deck. I think it's just going to be like a flop of cards, like the Shark Monsters and all that shit that Konami keeps putting out. But that's everything.